How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to Airport CEO and welcome back to Belfast City Airport. Things are going very well. We are approaching $16 million. $16 million. Sounded kind of like I said 60. Not that good. Things are going good, but not that good. Yesterday, we managed to make about $700,000. The daily average is increasing. It's now $311,000. And there have been a couple of small changes to the international terminal since that last episode. Now, in terms of broad strokes, I've just gone through and painted in some floors into all of the concourses. But the main thing that I did was come into this central concourse where we have the 4 different stands around it. And I've placed a shop in here. We've got wine and cheese, which is doing amazingly well. This place I don't think is going to run out of business at any point. I've also got another staff room back here, which is apparently causing some problems, which is a little bit weird. Not really too worried about that though. I think we'll manage. It's not going to be the end of the world. And I also just added a couple more chairs here and there. Now, this is something I've been seeing a lot. Been getting these complaints about people not actually being able to board for whatever reason. They do eventually board though. So I really don't understand where this complaint is coming from. The same thing's happening down here, but we can see they are getting through the, the boarding desk, the boarding gate, and they are getting on the plane. It's just that I guess there's so many of them that the game kind of wants me to have more of those self-boarding check-in gate things, which we could do. It's not impossible to add more of them. I just don't think we realistically need them, so I'm probably going to skip on that. Now, moving up this way a little bit, I've been keeping an eye on some of the shops around the airport. These new ones up here, this one specifically, is doing great. This thing's been open for, when does it open for? So 3 hours, and it's already met its sales goal. This place opened for 3 hours and is approaching its sales goal, this one being a fair bit higher than this little star. This little guy is doing amazingly. Open for, again, 3 hours, and it has eclipsed its sales goal. And then unfortunately, this place here is, well, it's not doing so good. It basically went out of business instantly. It just wasn't doing great. And we're a little bit limited in what I could put in here. We do have power as an option for this place, and I guess that's what we'll go for. Because, if I'm not mistaken, power was in the medium terminal, but again, as expected, a lot of these guys also went out of business. Now, I have gone ahead and I have got some more shops in here, and I mean, they haven't met their sales goals in 2 days. This one also in 1 day. I don't think they're going to stay in business. I don't think we have enough people going through this terminal to, well, you go to these shops, really. We have them going to this one, which is great. This place is doing fantastically. It's just that people, for whatever reason, in the concourse that has more stuff, they're not interested in these shops. And maybe that's because there's a lounge down here and a shop down here. I really don't know, but it's fine. I'm really not too concerned about it either. Now, in other news, I'm kind of tempted to close some of my stands just to clear all the flights that are going to be on them. Because this stand here, large stand 21, is for OK Air. This one down here is for Zoom, and we set those up in the last episode. But because things get scheduled quite a bit out, we don't have those airlines using their stands just yet. It's going to be Friday before we see anything from OK Air on the OK Air stand, and we still have airlines like Crown that are using those stands as well. So my thinking is that if I was to, and this is going to lose me a little bit of money, a little bit of reputation, it's not really the end of the world, I could either go ahead and just dismiss this aircraft, or I could potentially wait for all these people to board and then just close the stand once the aircraft has left the stand, which would probably make more sense. The passengers will be happy, the airline will be happier, and it means that I don't really take too much of a hit. They won't like the flights being canceled, but I do think this might be the right shout. I think this might be the right call. So this one, for example, is pushing back now. Once the little pushback truck goes ahead and disconnects. Now I still can't do this. That's the aircraft. Can I now close it? No. That's probably because the flight that's coming into that stand Is that it down here? No, it's, oh, that is it. Okay, so we would have to dismiss that aircraft, which is really unfortunate. This one as well, I would imagine going to be a similar story. This one is going to be pushing back once this guy clears out, or pushing back right now. A little bit unexpected, but okay. If we go ahead and close this stand, we can't because the flight that's going to it, I guess, is also at the airport somewhere. Is it you? It might, I think it is this one. Does it have a little green thing underneath it? It does. Yeah, so we're going to have to dismiss the flights, which is really unfortunate. I don't like doing that, but I do want to get these two stands set up and accepting specific airlines. So that's the plan. That's what we'll do. And then with that done, we have a lot of very upset passengers with their canceled flights. But if we look in here, we are hopefully, a very big hopefully, but we're hopefully going to see, yep, two very empty stands, which will hopefully then get populated by their respective airlines. Looking down this way, we're starting to see the same result of, because of time with medium stand 17 and 18. We have Atom Air on this one. We have Crown Airlines on the other one. So we're seeing, similar results. It's just that I had to wait for that to happen. I didn't really want to sit around and wait for these stands to do their thing. So hopefully the auto planner can figure that out. Hopefully those airlines aren't too upset with me. And hopefully that means that we're going to have a bunch of flights going into both of these stands and a bunch of people going into both of these airline lounges. Oh, now something I've realized I absolutely can do is go ahead and just start rescheduling some of tomorrow's flights to get some stuff onto these stands, which is maybe not the most efficient way of doing this, but it is the way I'm going to do this because it just sort of works. I want to make sure that we do have flights coming in here. I want to make sure we have as many flights as possible coming in here. And unfortunately, that doesn't carry over to Friday. I would have to go through here and reschedule everything for the flights to carry over to Friday. Or alternatively, I could just gradually go through and close all of the large stands to kind of force a bit of a reshuffle and cancel just all of the flights. I think we'll leave it like this for now, just to see how things go and figure out how many people are going to be going through the Zoom lounge and the OK Air lounge. Interestingly, looking at airline reputations, OK Air is quite happy with me. They are offering me some medium flights at the moment. And then right down at the bottom, Zoom, not happy with me. Only 5% satisfied, 15 flights being offered. Basically, the happier the airline is, the more flights they will offer you. So it would be nice to maybe cheer the airlines up a little bit. And I'm kind of tempted to allow some smaller flights on these stands. We don't currently allow medium aircraft on these stands. I think I'm going to, and we're going to see what happens by doing that. It might not be a good idea, but I think what we'll do is set up these 4 to allow some medium aircraft, and we'll see if that just changes things up a little bit. We might see some OK Air medium aircraft on this stand as well as just the large ones. And that's the goal. That's the hope, is that we can start to just bring more in here, really service these particular airlines and keep them nice and happy. I want to get my airline satisfaction as high as I possibly can. I want the airport satisfaction to be as high as it can possibly be. And honestly, 92% average, that's not bad. Now, thinking about things a little bit further, I am noticing that Maple has a couple of large flights that are being offered right there, which I might look into dealing with. We haven't really done too much with Maple thus far, and I'd like to do a little bit more with them. We are dealing with their smaller flights here and there. At least I think we had some. Yeah, we got these Maple regional flights coming through here, and we dealt, I think, with some of their smaller flights, but their larger ones, a little bit less so. Now, they're relatively happy with me. They are offering up to 40 active flights, which I'm okay with. They're offering 2 sets of large flights. They're offering 1 set of medium flights. So what if we were to go to, say, another one of the stands and set that up to be a Maple stand? What about this one over here? What if we go to you and we say that this stand is going to be set up for not Maple Express, not Maple Vintage, but wherever I've probably gone past it. No, right there. Maple Airlines is what we'll go for here. And the reason I'm looking at this one is because we have this entire space down here that isn't really being used for anything. that we could reasonably set up as number one, a bathroom, and number two, a lounge. I think that'd be a great place for a maple lounge. Now, we're not going to spend this entire episode working on this terminal. Again, I have got some bigger plans for what I'd like to do, but I've been having some fun coming in here and just experimenting a little bit with the different things that I can do with this terminal. So we'll set this up as a little bathroom at the bottom, and I think this entire thing can just be a lounge. I've also not got simulated construction turned off today, so I'm gonna just take my time building this little thing. If it becomes a pain, then I will absolutely turn it back on. Make no mistake, it is that I've let that particular cat out of the bag, which is such a weird. Why is the cat in the bag in the first? And you know what? It doesn't matter. Actually, no, it really doesn't matter. I think I've figured out why the cat was in the bag, and it's not. If it's why I think it was, then that's actually a really, really dark phrase that I never thought about and now regret thinking about. Regardless, moving swiftly on from that, let's, yeah, good Lord. Let's get some sinks in here for the middle of the bathroom. We can imagine there's like a thin divider here with some mirrors and stuff like that. That's why they're just gonna be back to back there. We'll get our door right in that spot. Are these things gone already? They are. So what I'd like to do, I was gonna say we would just have some doors on this, which unfortunately this is 5 across. So what I think we'll do is this and this. And I suppose that's just how it's gonna be. We'll just have it open. I mean, not the entire thing's not gonna be open. We're gonna have like an open sort of entrance space with the info desk and all that stuff. And now that I think about it, I mean, we can probably do the bigger info desk as well, since we have a lot of space to play with here. We really, really do. So do I want to do 2 info desks? I almost feel like I do want to do 2 info desks. Let's do this and this. And then we'll do a little wall that sort of goes, I guess, across here is what we can go for. We'll have some doors on either side of the wall, right here and right here. And then I can get a bunch of seating in here. I can make this place look all interesting and cool and whatnot. And I think this is going to be the entrance to the Maple Lounge, which is actually a really cool name. The Maple Lounge. I really enjoy that as a name for this place. Also thinking we can do, well, do I want to do the big old seats? I think I do. Although I might change it up slightly. I might use these guys. So 1, 2, and we'll do 3 of them, because then I can go in here and I can use some hedges just to get like a nice little view through this door. I think that's probably fair enough. And I think we can maybe do like a palm right there. I suppose that's all right. And you know, we're also going to want the maple logo somewhere. So let's do maybe, I actually don't know where this could go. Right here? I actually kind of like that. I think that's pretty good. And then maybe just a little something here and a little something here. So it's right underneath your feet when you're talking to the info desk. That seems like a great idea. And that's probably enough branding for the Maple Lounge. And there we go. We have a Maple Lounge, which occasionally looks busier than it actually is because a lot of people just walk through it to get to the bathroom. But honestly, that's totally fine. I'm really not too worried about that. I think it'll be all right. I'm also going to say that the Maple stand here can accept some medium flights just to change things up a little bit. And I want to have a look at my planner because annoyingly, there's really not as many flights around here today as I was hoping for. A lot of gaps on some of the large stands because I did move a lot of the flights up to earlier in the day. And then looking at tomorrow, it's a lot of the same, a whole lot of nothing going on there, which is really, really unfortunate. I do think eventually we'll start to see things move around a little bit. We have a lot of OK Air flights scheduled for down here. We've got some Zoom flights kind of dotted around the place as well. A lot of these will have been scheduled ahead of time. My phone is beeping. I usually have that thing muted every single time. That's like, you know what? It's gonna do it live. We're gonna just put my phone completely on silent and put it face down so I can't see anything that's beeping. I don't know if that picked up or not. I don't know if you heard that, but yeah. Usually have it completely on silent and just apparently not lately. Oh, I don't like this. I don't like seeing that these guys don't really have anything going on either. I'm kind of wondering whether or not, I mean, admittedly, this is a few days ahead here. We're down to 81 flights because they haven't all been scheduled. 94 tomorrow. That'll get filled out a bit as well. I do sort of wonder, though, if it would be worth maybe limiting more of the stands so that we are really forcing the different airlines to kind of, you know, go to specific places. Because I feel like we're probably not doing that all that much right now. I don't know. It's maybe a non-issue at this particular moment in time, but that's something I'm going to keep in mind for future airports. Whether or not I want to sort of specialize certain stands or terminals or concourses to certain airlines, because that is a thing that happens in real life. You will have, you know, EasyJet has their sort of base of operations in the UK. British Airways is out of Heathrow. I mean, they go everywhere, but their base is there in Heathrow. So it might be interesting to consider the idea of an airline exclusive terminal. I just don't know if that airline would ever offer enough flights to make it worthwhile. Although now that I think about it, that idea sort of would be possible, because some of these airlines have different brands and branches. You've got Maple Express, and then I think there was Maple Vintage. So it would be possible to make a terminal exclusively for Maple flights, maybe Nordic flights as well, because you do have two branches of that, or OK Air has a couple of branches as well. So it would theoretically be possible to set this whole thing up to work that way. Swiftly as well has a couple of branches. Tulip Airlines has a couple of branches. So yes, we could maybe do that. It's not something we're doing today, but it's something I'm going to keep in mind for a future airport. I've also gone through, I briefly turned off the auto planner. I'm going to turn it back on because I wanted to schedule a bunch of Maple flights in here manually. So we now have days worth of Maple flights scheduled, which is fantastic news. And hopefully we're going to start to see the auto planner get to work on putting more flights into all of my stands, because things are looking a little bit bare right now. And I suppose that brings us to this space. This space where we're going to be building our final terminal. And I kind of need to figure out what exactly that terminal is going to look like, because I really don't have much of an idea. I really haven't thought too much about it. I just know it's going to be using a whole bunch of smaller aircraft, and that's totally okay. That's totally the point of this thing. So let's have a look at just how small these stands are. And they really are, they really, I just snort. I don't know if that, what was that? They really are quite tiny is what these stands are, which is what we're looking for when it comes down to it. We want them to be quite small. We don't want to take up too much space with them. And I want to see how many of these I can get in here. I really do. So I think I'm going to work a little bit backwards with this, and we'll do 1, 2, 3. We can do 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 of them. And that's great. I'm wondering if I should do a few on this side as well, though, because there's not that many people that are going to want to, there's not that many people that are going to want to get on these planes. I just think it'd be really cool to have like 16 small planes coming through here at any one time. I just don't know if we need all that much space for it. I think I think we can maybe get away. I do have to remember baggage handling and capacities on things like the baggage bays. And I have to keep in mind things like general aviation as well. So I think we're going to go for 16 of these. I think we're going to just put a whole bunch of them down here. We'll connect it into this section of taxiway over here at some point. And this will be a little something is what this is going to be. So with that built, we are obviously going to need some terminal foundation, which is going to go right through the middle here. We could arguably go a little bit further with it, which I think is going to be a good idea. And I think we could also go ahead and get ourselves some service roads that will connect across here, because they should. And I think we can get ourselves a vehicle checkpoint, which can go right over here, so that we have a way for service vehicles to get into this part of the airport a little bit differently to how they've been doing it so far. And I think that's kind of cool. I definitely like that. In terms of the taxiways, it's going to be relatively straightforward. We just want to do a big old, do we want to do the 6 here? No, we want to do a 5 by whatever this is going to be. So 5 by 40 right about there. This might be slightly trickier here because these guys are going to be coming over like this. And I think, do these have to be 5 across or do these have to be, oh, this is going to be really weird looking actually. Yeah, this might be, this might look terrible, but I think we're just going to pave this entire thing. And, yeah, I don't love that. I definitely don't love that, but it'll be all right. We'll go ahead and connect all these guys to the taxiways as well. This is going to make this part of the airport very, very busy. We're adding 8 more flights to this entire section of the taxiway. I don't think that's my best idea, but I'm going to do it because I just want these flights in here. I want the small flights. I want some general aviation, and that is the goal. That's what we're going for. And you know, honestly, I think it'll be kind of funny to see all of these tiny, tiny little planes going around the taxiway with these absolutely enormous planes down here. I think that'll be great. So at the very least, we'll get a laugh out of it. You know, that's what more can you ask for at that point? Now, this is that's so many stands. I don't think we're ever going to fill this place up, but we'll see. That is actually kind of wild. I think what we'll do is we'll go around, we'll turn all that off, and man, I can't even see where stuff. You know what? We'll let them build it first because I really can't see. I don't know if my eyesight's terrible or if it's just this game sometimes, but when you zoom in like this and I'm trying to like line everything up, it's a little tricky. Like I can do it. I can clearly, you know, there's the wall there and a wall there. I don't know. I really don't know if it's just me. I am looking at my recording preview on another monitor and I think it might just be my monitors having some problems, to be honest with you, because it's actually easier to look at the I'm starting to, I don't know what this episode's been so far. I don't know. I've had some moments today. I don't know what is going on with me. We've had the phone. We've now got my monitor acting up. It's just, I dread to think what's going to be next. All right. So it's been a little while and things have come along a little bit here. We have some general aviation flights in the airport, which is very exciting. And I'm really, really happy about that. Obviously, the rest of this is going to be commercial and is going to need some work, but I like how this is coming together. We have our regular check-in space, a little bit smaller than what we've done before, but that kind of makes sense. We have our security, which is maybe a bit bigger than it needs to be. And then just a single concourse the entire way down here. That's going to be fantastic. We also have space to go underground for staff on either side, which is going to lead us down to 2 separate baggage handling spaces that cannot be opened without connection to an aircraft stand and a check-in desk or baggage claim. That checks out. None of these stands have actually been connected to a baggage bay yet, so we'll go to all of the stands on this side and we will connect those all down to this baggage bay, which should make those stands a fair bit happier. And we'll go to the stands on this side and connect those to the baggage bay on the left side of the airport. And that should now mean that this can be opened and this can be opened. It's just that none of these stands are going to work because none of them are set up with any boarding desks, which again, I'm kind of okay with. Now, something I think I want to do here is go a little bit more analog and a little bit more hands-on with this airport. So I'm kind of thinking that a medium boarding desk would be an interesting idea, or maybe just the small one. It doesn't really matter which I go for, but I do like the idea of actually having a boarding desk. I think that's kind of cool, and it's something that I would like to do. I just can't decide if I want to do, I guess this is sort of what we could go for. And I suppose what I can do is build out the boarding space for one of these guys and then build it out for, you know, just copy and paste that for all the rest of them. So let's take a look at what this could look like. So we have a space of 3 right here. I'm going to want to get myself, I suppose, something kind of like this. So arrivals kind of come out this way. We will have a little something like maybe this for the boarding space. And then what I could even do if I really, really felt like it is sort of just build something like this will kind of force a queue into that area. I know it looks silly, and it does look silly, but that's about the only way I can get I wish you could build a queue on these things. You just can't. And I'm going to be honest, as much as I love the idea, I hate this. I really hated that, so we're not going to do that. What we can do is, I suppose we're going to have a bit more of a hedge right here. So this actually works out perfectly. Let me go ahead and get some seating along this guy. I'm hoping I can get something like this, and this, which looks pretty good. Let's make sure that this entire area is nice and secure, which it absolutely is. And I think that's probably enough for this space. So if I go into building tools and I just copy and paste all of you, we'll turn off all that overlay because it's nasty looking. Basically just paste this on each of these stands. I'm going to put it on the general aviation ones as well, at least on the ones where I can do that. I can't do it in the bottom right one, but I can do this, and it just gives us that corridor right down through the middle that I absolutely love. That makes it a little bit easier to do what I want to do. I'm also kind of wondering, am I going to be able to do this right up at the top? I absolutely can. That is pretty solid, actually. We are obviously going to need some passenger service agents to make these boarding desks work, but I'm kind of okay with that. I'm not going to lie. I'm kind of okay with that. Again, I want to get a little bit more hands-on with this one. I think it's kind of cool. So what we'll do this time around is we'll put this thing down here. We can chop out 1, 2, 3. We can do a little bit of a hedge that maybe comes across this way. Something kind of like, I don't know. Do we want to do something like this where they have to like loop down and around? I sort of like that. I might take this back 1 and bring it over this way. So it's kind of 3 through here, then goes down to 2 and back. Yeah, you know what? We'll just do this. We'll just do this. So it goes down to 2. You cut through, go around, queue up, do whatever you got to do. That seems pretty good. We can do some extra seating down here as well, since I figure we're probably going to need it. We can do this large one in, do I want to do it right in the middle? I think I'll leave a gap at the bottom there. And honestly, it might not be the worst idea in the world to just sort of dot some extra seating through this entire space. So we'll go the entire way along this concourse to about, I guess just the entire way along it with a bit of extra seating like that. And that should be enough for everybody. Again, there's small flights, so we really shouldn't need to go too crazy with it. And then you just get connected out to, have I got you backwards? No. So you get connected out to this stand. And then with all of these connected, we are pretty much good to go. I just need employees, and that's sort of going to be the problem, just getting people in here, really. So what I'd like to do before we officially open this thing and bring everybody in is I would like to get myself some parking lots for one, and I'd like to see just where I can put them. Now I can get one right about here, which seems like a decent spot. So I think that's kind of what we could do. I've also realized that I didn't do any bus stops or car stops or taxi stops anywhere along any of these terminals. I totally forgot. I totally forgot about public transport, apparently, which is wild considering the games that I usually play on this channel. That's, that might be a sign of old age finally kicking in. I don't know. Let's do a parking lot here. And I don't know if I need multiple parking lots for this thing. We'll do 3 of them just because we kind of have got the space to do it. And then what I'd like to do is bring some roads kind of down here, a little something like this. And I guess this could be a space for things like bus stops, which unfortunately don't quite fit in here with how I've laid everything out. So we'll take out 1 strip of this entire thing. We'll go back into infrastructure and we'll get ourselves a couple of bus stops. So we'll do here, we'll leave some gaps so that I can play around with this a little bit, but that's plenty of bus stops. We can do some taxi stops over here as well, and I guess we'll do some car stops sort of down this way as well, and that should hopefully be more than enough for this entire thing. Although what I will do is just go into infrastructure one more time, and I would like to bring some sidewalks out to here. I'm kind of wanting to bring a sidewalk down there just so I can put some hedges on it, because you do need to do that to place hedges. And that's probably solid, honestly. I think we'll do sidewalks through here as well, since we're going to need people to be able to cross the road to get to the parking lots. And I guess that's what we'll put in next. So a crosswalk right about here, here, and here. We can go to our decorations and get the hedges that go around all of this down to that point and here. We can do the same thing on this side, I guess. I'm going to do a couple of little hedges there just to, or one little hedge there just so this kind of lines up the way I'd want it to, which is basically that. And I'm sort of okay with that. I might do some hedges along the bits of wall that we have here as well, just again to sort of look like a bit of decoration going on there. So I think that looks all right. That seems like a pretty good setup. I don't imagine these are going to need to be long stay parking lots. That's going to let people into this terminal, which I guess I'm probably going to want to expand into the parking lots anyway. So we'll do all of this, and that now attaches these guys to this terminal. We don't have anywhere for vehicles to park right now. We don't have any working baggage bays. We don't have any staff rooms. So I am kind of thinking my vehicles are going to go underground. I think that's sort of the easiest way to do it. So we'll get some vehicle depots, and we'll do here, and I really don't think we're going to need this many of them, but we'll do 3 just to be safe. I'm also going to paint underneath those with some concrete so it looks the part. Doesn't really make sense having these under here, but it's okay. And now we just need, so it says we don't have baggage bays. Is that because of how I've laid? Is that really? I hadn't really considered the whole underground thing with this terminal, but I guess I'm going to need to fill all of this in. And now that terminal has 2 baggage bays, which is great news. And then it just needs staff and vehicles. So how am I going to do this is the question I suddenly have, because I guess each stand, of which there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 12, each stand is going to need a small pushback truck. Or no. Do they need pushback trucks? I don't think they do. I don't think small aircraft. No, they don't need pushback trucks. I think they're okay not having those, but they're going to need baggage trucks. And I don't know if they need belt loaders. I really don't remember what I need for these, but I guess we'll go into our dashboard. We can go to vehicles and purchase. We'll switch everything off. We'll look at baggage. And I guess what I want is probably, I would imagine just 12 of these guys. I can only order 10. That's unfortunate, but that's what we'll go for. That's okay. I don't remember what else small aircraft happen to want or what they can request. These guys want refueling, so that's going to have to go underground as well. Ugh, okay. Well, we can absolutely make that work. We also have general aviation here, so we need avgas and jet A1. So if we look at infrastructure, we can go for small jet A1, and I guess it can go here, and we can do a small avgas one next to it, which is right about there. Let's make sure they're also part of the terminal, which they are. I don't think they're central, but that's totally fine. That'll be some refueling stuff. And I suppose in terms of refueling, that's the next thing to look at is more vehicles. So fuel, I don't think we need much. I think in terms of avgas, I'm going to do 2 of them. And I think in terms of the Maverick trucks, I'm going to do 8 of them. I think that's fair enough. They're also not being auto-assigned to terminals on arrival, which is, I don't want to say that's concerning, but we'll see how that works. I'm really not too sure where they're going to go. But we have the baggage guys on the way. If we look at aircraft-related vehicles, so this is medium aircraft. Yes, so we don't need these guys, which is great. We don't need any cabin cleaning either. We don't need any transit stuff. We don't need any emergency stuff. And I guess in terms of baggage, let's see. This is the fastest way to load and unload baggage from an aircraft. I'll tell you what, let me get 4 of these. I really don't know if we need them, but we're going to find out. And I guess now, oh, I forgot about staff. Hold on. I forgot about like the most important thing for the airport. That's not good. So we are going to need passenger service agents and quite a few of them. So we'll hire all of you and then reject the rest of you. We are going to need ramp agents and quite a few of those as well. So we'll hire all of the good ones and get rid of the bad ones. Security officers, we need so many security officers for this new airport. It's going to be kind of wild. And service technicians, we want people to look after all the stuff in the airport, so hire all of you guys. So have we got, if I look at my terminal overlay, do we have people working here? We are starting to fill it out. We have new product showing up as well. So let's start loading this airport with stuff, basically. We also have a lot of baggage related vehicles available. So I'm going to put just 12 of them in here. 4 of these guys should be fine. A lot of service cars available too. I really don't think we need to worry too much about, I don't know if we need to worry much about all of this stuff. I'm not going to lie. We'll get the 8 belt loader trucks. Wait, no, let me just do 4 of those for now. The stair trucks we don't need. We don't need any of this stuff. We also haven't done de-icing. I keep forgetting to do de-icing, and that's really frustrating. I've also realized that there are some complaints about not having staff rooms, so I'll just fill in this little part of the terminal on each side. And then what I can do is go in there and can I just do like a big chair? Can I get away with just like a bench down here and a bench maybe here? I'm gonna get a little bit lazy with these staff rooms. I'm not gonna lie. I think it's fair enough to get a little bit lazy with some staff rooms at this stage. So we'll do this as a staff room. We will do this as a staff room as well. These little spaces here need to be staff only. In fact, this entire corner is going to be staff only. We'll set this entire thing up as staff only like this. And then when you go down, this entire space also needs to be staff only. Not that I think any passengers are going to go down here, but just to be safe, we're going to make sure the entire thing is set up as a staff only zone. Same with this secure zone over here and the little corner next to it as well. So that is now all staff only. This I love, by the way, the little elevator down through security to get into this space. This is set up as staff only, of course. Then you just leave this way back up the elevator. I really like that little loop. And I think this is a pretty decent looking terminal. It is going to need so many more employees, but I think it's a fun looking terminal at the very least. I think it's got that going for it. So let's go back in here. Let me get myself some more service technicians. I don't imagine we'll need too many. Security officers, we are going to need so many. I'm going to hire you guys as well. Ramp agents, we're going to need a lot of those as well. So hire everybody that's not in the red. Passenger service agents, I'm going to hire all of you because we're going to need many of them. And janitors as well. Let's get a few of those in here. We don't need admins. We don't need executives. Let's have a look at how we're doing. So we are starting to fill this out, which is great. We do need more ramp agents though. And now that I think about it, oh, we're going to need so many of those. I also want more than 2 ramp agents per side on this. So this alone is 16 ramp agents per shift on the baggage bays. It's going to be a lot, but it's going to be good. Oh, and there we go. We have a little flight coming in here, which is fantastic. We have people getting off of the flight as well, which is great. Some of them kind of getting stuck at the door. Not really too worried about that. So we got a bunch of people getting off of a Maple Express flight over here as well. And a bunch of people waiting to board, which I'm very happy about. Now, I am hoping that we're going to see these vehicles head around and go to some of the flights and start refueling them or getting bags or whatever it might be. We've got this guy coming in to refuel. We get you guys coming in to deal with bags. This one bringing the bags in, this one taking them out. We actually have some really large trucks coming through here as well. We have a lot of trucks just servicing this entire thing. We just don't have any ramp agents on the ground to actually get the bags off of the planes, which is a bit of a concern. Not gonna lie, a little bit worried about that. So let's, once again, as we usually do, go in here and just see what we can do. Let's just hire everybody. We'll do the same with the security officers as much as we possibly can. I really don't want anyone in the red. Service technicians, just hire all of them, including you. And then janitors, actually, we'll hire all of you as well to make sure the place is nice and clean. Service agents, again, hire all of them except anyone in the red. And if we look at our overview, we are probably doing okay on passenger service agents, not doing okay on security, not doing okay on ramp agents, doing okay on just about everything else. So the ramp agents are being spread a little bit thin is the conclusion that I'm coming to right there. The passenger service agents, I don't think they are. I think they might manage to get everybody sorted out. The airport's not that busy, so it shouldn't be the end of the world. I've also realized that these guys can't get out of here right now. I totally forgot to set this up properly. So let me just make sure that people can actually leave the baggage handling spaces, because right now they really can't. So let me go into infrastructure, into sidewalks. Let me do something like this. And where are we going to go to with it? I guess here we'll bring this across, and we'll go a little bit further with it. Or do we want to go a little bit further with it? I don't think we actually do. Let's put this back in here. Let me do the same thing over on the other side, just a little bit of an extension there with some hedges going up to the doors so those guys can get out. On this side, just goes up and around the corner. This can come down to about, you know what? Yeah, that's fine, actually. It's a little bit of a weird size, but that's okay. Now they can get out, and hopefully they eventually will. It's not part of the terminal, but I don't imagine that's going to be the end of the world. I'm pretty sure that'll be fine. I think they are likely waiting on their bags, which is a reasonable thing to assume that they're doing, because their bags are probably still on the plane that brought them here. And looking at things now, it seems like we might actually have enough people to get this terminal running the way I would want it to be running, which is fantastic news. We don't currently have any bags that look to be heading out to anybody, which, I mean, that's a bit of a worry. Do we have any do we have any baggage cars bringing stuff in here to take it out to the baggage claim spaces? These guys are connected to things. Yeah, we do have this here. Time left was 3:30. I feel like people aren't going to get their bags. Oh wait, no, hold on a minute. What is this? You guys coming in, putting some bags on there? Do those bags? Yeah, there we go. That's what we're looking for. So the airport is well and truly up and running. How many flights do we have to deal with now? 133 today. Let me also have a little bit of a look, because I'm realizing my OK Air situation up here is now being scheduled properly. We've got the Zoom situation being scheduled properly. Although there are still Zoom flights on other large stands, that's completely fine. Sunday is 124. We have a bunch of Maple stuff still scheduled. Some of that is admittedly stuff that I scheduled. But we're starting to see some cool stuff here. We've got all of these little flights coming through, making us a little bit more money. It is by no means the best terminal that I've ever built. It doesn't have any shops. It doesn't have any bathrooms, but I do like it. I do. I do like this space. I think it's pretty cool. I would like to get a little bit more detail in here just before we wrap things up for today. So let's see. Can I do this and this? I totally can. I'm going to just copy and paste those down the entire thing, because I do think I think info displays kind of make an airport feel more like an airport. Although in saying that, I'm kind of wondering if I can get like a little shop in here. I don't even know if we have any low-level shops available now, but I'm gonna just sort of cheat by making the shop this size. And is that big enough for any of these guys? No, that's a little bit unfortunate. Okay, so I can't do a shop. Can I do not a restaurant, but somewhere you can buy food, just a food shop? Can I get one of these guys in here that just wants display fridges? I can get Bell beer. That's what I want. I want Bell beer. So let's figure out what this is going to look like. We need cashier counters. We're going to go with the small ones because I think that makes sense. And I don't know what the middle of this thing's going to be. So let's do 2 of them right there. And let's do 2 of them. What way are these set up? I need 2 of them right there. And that seems all right. Now I do want to do something kind of like this. And that's kind of like our staff only square in the middle. That's fine. A little bit of a weird design with like the curves going on there. I don't love that, but it's all right. It's not the end of the world. We can get some display fridges in here. We'll do 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm kind of thinking we do I'm thinking we do more of them. I think we try and make this place actually successful. And then what I can do is go ahead and sign the Belbeer contract, which we now have, well, we've now done. I can also go in here and say, give me, I don't know, give me some tiles or something underneath the store. So this space can have some tiles, and it just looks sort of like its own little thing. And that's kind of cool. I kind of like that. I wonder if I could get the same down here. I kind of want to try and just get another little restaurant thing down here. I have my doubts that this will be successful because I do feel like there's not going to be enough people coming through here. But we do, well, we do have Swift Veg, and basically Swift Veg wants a very similar layout to Belbeer. So we'll head up this way. We can copy this entire layout. We'll pop down this way, and it's going to live pretty much right there. So if I go ahead and sign myself a contract with Swift Veg, that'll keep them nice and happy, hopefully. And we can maybe do, I don't know, let's just do, let's do this mosaic tile underneath Swift Veg. And I think I'm going to do the mosaic tile underneath Belbeer as well, since that seems like a pretty good shout. Is this place getting business? It is. They're not going to, oh, the failed contract has apparently carried over from the old version of this place. That's all right. It'll get some business, I'm sure. This one down here, I'm a lot less sure about, to be honest with you, but it's fine. We'll not stress too much about it. And I guess the other thing we need at this stage is some kind of bathroom in here. So let me figure out what exactly that would look like. I'm thinking we maybe take out this bit of hedge right here and turn that into a wall. So this goes away. We probably want to bring you out to here, and we'll just bring this entire thing up to, I'm going to bring it up to there. It's going to be a really, really weirdly shaped and sized bathroom, but I think that's okay. I think we can kind of get away with that. You know, while I was building this, I realized something, and I reckon you might have already realized the thing that I have just realized. We don't have any baggage security. We don't have any bag scanners for this entire airport, which is such a huge oversight on my part. I'm kind of amazed that I have managed to do that. I'm also not 100% sure that I don't want to say I don't care, because obviously it's a useful step in any airport. It's definitely good to have, but I don't know that I care enough for this little terminal. And I don't like to say that, but I just don't know that I care. I really, like, it does sound horrible, but I just sort of don't. I've also kind of decided I want to change this up a little bit because I'm pretty sure I can make it look a little better than it currently does. So let me just bring some hedges down here. How do I want to do this? I am thinking that we're going to come through here and we're kind of going to do this sort of thing. So I want to go 6 all the way over to here. And I want to do the same thing here. We're going to go something like 5 up this way. And I can take out this part. I can put I think I can get the sidewalk back in there. That gives us 4. Yeah, that makes everything just look slightly more symmetrical. It's not symmetrical, but it just makes it feel a little bit more symmetrical, which I think is pretty good. So that, I like that. It sort of loops around nicely. I missed a little bit of hedge right there, but it lets people kind of loop towards the main part of the airport if that's a thing that they want to do. And I suppose in doing that, I could do some doors just here and over here, so that if anyone's wanting to go back in and get another flight, they can, right? That's the goal of these doors. Like this guy wants to go and get another flight, or anyone transferring from one terminal to another can use this door to head over to another terminal. I like it. I like the connections that we have between everything. I also like that we probably do have people coming from other terminals to this one to get buses and taxis and cars. I'm never going to forgive myself for forgetting these things for so long. But aside from that, we're kind of doing all right. We're up to 156 flights per day, which is great news. If we look down here, we have all these small aircraft stands, which, I mean, they're not full by any means. They're definitely not full. We do have a mix of flights being offered here and there, but I think we're doing all right. Maple has a lot of flights. I kind of love that Maple's offering so many flights. That right there, I'll tell you what that has me tempted to do. I'm coming back over this way. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of this stand. Well, not get rid of it. I'm going to turn it off once this flight goes. That's also going to be a Maple stand, because we have so many flights being offered from that airline that I think it kind of just makes sense. In fact, have you started boarding yet? No. You haven't started catering. You still haven't finished deboarding. Okay, well, that's, do I want to let you finish? Nah, you can get out of here. That's unfortunately, that's just how it's going to be. Sort of cleaned it, sort of fed it, haven't refueled it. Boarding, though, has started. Okay, I guess we'll let them finish boarding and then we'll switch it over to a Maple stand. Or can I just, I mean, I guess I can do that now. The reason I want to just close it is because it forces all of the future flights off of this stand. It cancels all flights, and then it means that the auto planner can just throw a bunch of Maple flights at this thing. That's the idea. It's also taking forever to board. Oh no, this isn't good. We are seeing dangerous baggage get loaded onto flights. Don't love that. Definitely don't love that. Not a huge fan of that one in the slightest. I would imagine it's probably going to be the little stand that we have over here. I would imagine that we probably do reasonably need some kind of baggage security setup here. So, you know what? Very quickly, can't believe I forgot to do this. Very quickly, let's do, how am I going to do baggage security here, man? I have absolutely no idea. I genuinely don't know. So the bags, I mean, they're coming in here right now. So yeah, they come underground here. That's fine. So the bags on this side, so where do they come in from? So they get split here, right? So the bags do all go underground. So they come down here, they go back up there. So in that case, let me do 5 by 6 and 5 by 6. And that'll be a pair of security spaces. I have no idea how my staff are going to get down to those, but we will figure that out as well. And so now we have security. It's scanning the bags. It's doing what I need it to do. The bags come in, they go through everything they got to go through, and it heads out to the plane. So hopefully we're not going to have all the same complaints that we had before about dangerous things being loaded onto flights, because that would kind of suck. We also don't have Bell Beer anymore, which is a shame. I'd like to get you back if you wouldn't mind. There we go. So now the target thing has reset, which is great news. Looking down this way, is this place still here? No, it isn't. Okay, well, let's get Swift Veg back in here as well. Both of their daily targets have reset now, so that's hopefully going to make things a little bit easier. I don't know who's having trouble leaving the airport. I mean, passengers having trouble leaving. I mean, obviously, but I don't know who and why or where. So I'm kind of wondering if we want to just give this terminal some subways. I feel like we probably should. So if I go in here and take out this, can I now just add a subway station to this place? Yeah. So I think that's good. Can I do the same down at the other end here? Can I do a, yeah. So we'll go in, we'll take out just this part. We'll go and get ourselves some infrastructure, get a subway station, put it right about there. And I kind of want to put some hedges around it. So once again, sidewalks just surrounding the thing. And I suppose a quick check to make sure that, yeah, it's not actually in the terminal. So let me just get you set up like so. Let me get this side set up just like so as well. And that should, and it does mean we're starting to see people use the subway, which is great. So I guess let's take a look at what we have so far in terms of the flight planner. 161 flights today. We have so many Maple flights coming in here as well. That right there makes me so happy. I love to see it. Absolutely love to see it. We still have a bunch of flights being offered from Maple as well, so there is room to get more of those flights in here, which I absolutely love and adore. Is Zoom is no happier with me. I don't understand why they're not really happy with me, but they're not particularly happy with me. But you know, that doesn't bother me too much because we got this little terminal up here. We got some general aviation coming in. 161 flights is pretty great. I am really happy with that. We're approaching $15 million again. And I do just love, oh, that's the wrong button. I do just love the idea that we have this dedicated concourse now for Maple Airlines. I think that's pretty cool. It's not exactly the most elegant looking. It's a little bit bare in a few places. It doesn't have windows, and I mean there's a lot more I could do to this airport to really flesh it out, give it more detail, you know, get a couple more shops in here. But I think you know where I'm going with this. I think given the fact that we have 5,500 passengers on the ground right now, and given that we're making more money than I know what to do with, and that we do have these dedicated stands for the different airlines, and that everything seems to be working for the most part with our 3 runways and our helicopters, our vintage flights, our medium flights, large flights, small flights, and general aviation, I think it's time to say goodbye to this version of Belfast City Airports and this series of Airport CEO. Because like I said, I think we've done about all there is to do. I've built everything that I wanted to build. Yes, it involved a little bit of, you know, not simulating the construction here and there, but I think we've done pretty good work. I also wish the game would stop freezing when it saves, but I get it. There's a lot going on. 5,500 people on the ground. It's whatever. I like this a lot. I love this airport. I think it's probably the best one that I've built in this game so far. It's just got everything. I don't know if we've done this before, so I'm really pleased about it. I hope you are as well. And I hope you've enjoyed the series, because that is going to do us for today and for the series. It has been an absolute pleasure as always. Did I say thank you for watching? I don't know if I did. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. It has been an absolute pleasure as always. And as always, I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.